here very long. But I wanted to let you all know kind of what's happening. I was hoping to be able to come live this afternoon, but I'm in the mess of two more projects that I have to cut out for Christina to be ready for tomorrow. And yesterday I was in a lot of pain. I actually was really cold all day long, which is a sign that my body's really hurting. And so yesterday I took the project that she needs outline, which is not something you have to do with everyone, and probably something I won't do with every Kina Saga project, but one for her first one that kind of lends itself to that one more because it hides a lot of her first beginning mistakes, which is fine. That's what learning is. And like I tell people, we're not trying to do perfect. We're trying to do nice or cute or pretty. Hi, Sandy. So anyway, I took that into my bedroom yesterday and just laid in bed and worked on it. I'm on my, I don't know, several different projects that I've had to cut out for her on a foam board today. She goes, Mom, that's your job. So I'm trying to get them ready to be able to take them to church tomorrow. Some of the patterns I'm surprising her with. So I can't show you all of them because then I'll ruin the surprise for her, right? Yesterday was just really hurting. Now, yesterday I went to another really, you want to talk about out in the country, and it was out in the country fabric store. It was, and I got some fabric, and I didn't get much, but I was looking for something for the one I'm working on for my other's keeper, because none of the skies that I got that I had that it would have worked, but it just, problem was I couldn't get the sky and the outlining of the water drop, those that watch that, to look right. So I had to go looking for something, and I was told I needed to go check out that store. By the way, we finally got Mama her Subway. So that was like, yay, finally got that done. Finally worked. We still didn't get her a free birthday cookie, but oh well. So anyway, I spent like $12 there. Didn't have much to spend, but I got this just because I thought it was so pretty. So different. I just got 1/4 yard. This I thought would be great for pumpkin material. It's not as big as Country Fabrics. Country Fabrics is still my favorite. This I'm going to use for the outside of the teardrop. And this is going to be for the sky of the teardrop. And then Christina loved this one, which I'm going to have to steal some of it. So anyway, I got that. It would be some place I would source fabric from. It's just not that big. Country Fabrics, so it's much bigger than that. However, it's a cute little store, and they actually put one of my soap caddies up just to see how it goes. So I'm thankful for it. But yesterday I was really hurting, and it's like, what time is it? 7 o'clock. I have 2 more patterns to cut out for her, and I have an outlining to do for her. Trying to get it done and ready. Josh is working on the paint sticks for her things because she'd like to have it in frame, because she'd like to give it to the person that, hi Shelly, the person that she intended to give it to on Friday. So I feel a little bit overwhelmed, and I can't outline it with you all because then I would be giving, she hasn't shown it to y'all yet. And, hi, Amby. So anyway, so I can't do that. And then the one for my other's keeper, I'm working on finishing privately so I can go on her channel and show it to her and let her be surprised when she sees the results. So I'm like in foam cutting place. I've been here since, what was it? Since like 4:30. And I'm actually dealing with a migraine on top of it. So I was hoping to be in the position where I thought, oh, well, that'll be great. I'll do this. And then about maybe 7 or 8 o'clock, I'll be able to come live. And I just don't see that happening without being up all night trying to outline this one piece for Christina to give it to her tomorrow. And I'm trying to get her enough ahead where she's got enough King of Saga projects to do. And if you haven't seen the one we did on my other's keeper. That's the one we did on my other's keeper. And again, I'm finishing it privately. And then I'm going to show the rest of it on the live with her so she can see it. And you guys got to see a little bit of the sneak peek of it. So, like I said, I've done, like she has, oh, that's okay. I understand we have to do what we have to do, right? I can't even think today. I really can't. So I have to outline her piece. I think I've got 2 more to do, and I've given her 7. I did give her explicit instructions that if these are not to be rushed, and the only reason I'm giving it to her is so she'll have plenty and she'll get ahead a little bit. I'll get ahead of her saying, Mom, you're not giving me enough pieces. And so then that way I can get her a little bit ahead without her, running out. So I thought I'm just going to she sent over a couple of different designs. She's almost done with the pickle, but she ran out a piece of fabric. I don't think I have them over here. So I'm on my fourth one, ready to go on to my 5th and 6th one. Or no, I'm on my 5th one, ready to cut out the 5th and 6th one. And then I can start outlining her piece and really try to get that done and ready. So I don't think I'm going to make a live tonight. And the only way that I know to do this right now, because again, I'm dealing with it's not a terrible migraine, it's just enough to be annoying, quite frankly, is to just put on Elvis music and bury my head down in the thing and just keep going. That's the only way I know how to do it so that I can get it done. So I thought I'd come live because I thought I didn't come on yesterday, and I'm still beyond thrilled to death that she's loving this and this is helping her, and her and I are talking more and having just the funnest time, like with Sabra, the Kinasaga chicks. But I just don't see how I can come on tonight and work on my stuff when I know I have to finish this in order. She said, you don't have to finish it tomorrow, but I really would like to get it done because the person she is trying to give this to has been very helpful with her right now and helping as she's been transitioning into motherhood. So I'd really like to get it ready so she can give it, because she's very proud of it, and I know she really wants to give it to the person that's intending to go to. And I'm cutting foam board while I'm talking because like I said, I don't want to be here all night. So anyway, I did tell her, I said, make sure you tell somebody that you may be in the parking lot for a while picking out fabric. So anyway, that's one thing. And then I found a Facebook thing. I don't know if I can do it because I don't know if I'll have the resources to, but and I don't know what it would be, but it's a lady that's getting rid of a bunch of fabric stuff, and it's down probably about 45 minutes from us, and like she's selling like a yard of fabric for like $4, and she has a bunch of different stuff, and I thought, well, maybe that's something to look at doing. So she has a big stash, and it's going to be someplace, I can't remember what it was, but it wasn't terribly far from us. I was thinking maybe sometime this week, we'll see. So I thought, well, I'll just come on, but you'll, you can't see what I'm doing yet, because then it will ruin some of the surprise for her, because I'm working on 2 pieces she didn't send over. Oops, that was not a right one. Yeah, well, she'll have to look at the pattern because I messed that one up. I told her the other day she's going to have to learn how to cut. She goes, Mom, that's your job. You can't always cut out your foam board, child. Take off the training wheels at one point. So anyway, I'm happy to do it for her. So anyway, but anyway, like I said, as soon as I get done with cutting these out, then I'm going to go to the point where I can take her pattern that she has finished and start outlining the rest of it. Like I said, you don't have to sit and outline every one of these. It's not necessary, but this one in Pacific, I started outlining it the other day, and it really looks good outlined, and it really kind of helps to cover up, you know, her little kind of, you know, first little mistakes, which are fine. And they're not going to be all covered up, but that's why it makes it look human, right? We want it to look human. We want it to look like human hands did it, not that. So anyway, Josh is cutting out paint sticks again over there. That's why you hear all that noise. And yesterday I was going to go do a Facebook Live, and our smoke detector decided to hit low battery. So the maintenance guy had to come in and change the whole entire unit. So that's all you heard for about 4 hours yesterday. Oops, that's not what I was supposed to do. So anyway, hopefully she looks at the pattern. I forgot to cut this side. Yep. It's going down to here. That's why it's helpful to have your patterns in hand, because sometimes you go, oh, what was that one again? So anyway, I just thought I would let people know what I'm doing, why I'm not coming on tonight. Now tomorrow I may come on. I did schedule a Facebook Live for Monday. We'll see how that goes. I just knew I was going to do it today, and I'm like, I'm going to run out of time. And I sat and I get half of her project outlined yesterday, and I'm like, it's going to probably take me the rest of the night to finish outlining that. So I just wanted y'all to know what's happening. And like I said, the only way I know to do this, the only way I've been doing it, is just turn on Elvis and keep pressing forward. Hi, Riches. So, like I said, the one that I did on My Other's Keeper, that one is going to be one that I will finish. And you guys get to see a little bit, because I did, after I got off of My Other's Keeper, I worked on it for another couple hours. So that's the start of it. I love these teardrops. I've got to do more of these teardrop patterns. I love this. She is calling this the Drop of Joy. I love these teardrops. I really think they look really cool on it. I just have to do more patterns. Like I said, I have literally can't keep up with my kid. So I decided today, I'm like, she's gonna have patterns. And I told her, I said, your husband can lock these up if you're gonna go through them too quickly. She's looking, and actually that pickle that she started on, it actually looks pretty good. She said, you were kind of worried about my colors. I'm like, I didn't see the vision of it, but you did for your artwork. So anyway, so like I said, I've got, this is one, I will show you one of these. This is one she sent me over that she wants to do. But that's one of like 6 other ones I've created for her. So anyway, yesterday I was just like, why am I so cold? I mean, it wasn't roasting out, but it was, like in the 80s, and I'm like, I am freezing. I just couldn't get warm enough, so I figured I was hurting. I just took it easy last night. And I thought we're going to have to do the can of pickles that she did, just so we can see the difference between the way that I did it and the way that she did it. I kind of want to do this one, surprisingly enough. Kind of want to do this one that I'm working on right now. I also got a horse and buggy pattern together. And Josh is trying to figure out the paint sticks so we can get her frame done. Get hers framed and done tonight. But I don't mind this at all. It's just, yeah, it does take some time to sit here and do all this and cut them all. Which I'm glad to do, because she's just getting so much she's getting therapeutic value from this. And so am I. I can say this is kind of like crochet. I don't mind cutting, but I also am like, that's my part that I probably don't like as much. I like the doing the fabric and creating with it. I think that's probably everybody. It's like the part you have to get done. Unless you're good enough where you can just freehand it. I'm not that good. So, anyway. I had to pull out some crackers because I just want to go lay down, but I can't. So, anyway, I thought if I have to, I'll go, like, take another... I thought if I could get this done, when Josh figures out the frame, I could go lay down. I may go lay down and just put the heating pad on my neck and see if it doesn't help. I hate being in pain. I hate it. I'm taking a pain pill, but it's not helping. It's helping, but it's just weird. So anyway. I feel like I came a saga dealer here. But anyway, that shop that we went to yesterday, oh, hold on a second, I'll show Rich's. She just came in. It's called Blooming Grove. And as far as the, I mean, you could fit several of them into country fabrics. It's not as big. It has some really pretty fabric, though, I will have to say, and it was reasonable. It was just about the same as the other. So this was one. Oh, this was so pretty. I had to grab this. Me, Purple Girl, I had to grab this, right? And then I thought this would be great for the pumpkins. Like to be able to put in between. Hi, Real Outdoor Living. I wonder why you lost. Why is that? Hold on a second. Oh, that's weird. Because your name's that's strange. This one. Because your name is usually blue and it's not. So this one. And then Christina, when I FaceTimed her and she goes, Mom, can you get me this? It was so pretty. This was really pretty. So all were about like $2.50 a piece. And then for that teardrop, this is going on the outside of the teardrop. This is the reason I went, because I didn't like anything I had for the outside of it. This was like a bluish gray. And then this reminded me of the sky. She's doing fine. But that looked like the sky. So I got that from that place. So it's another place to get our fabric from. Like I said, I want to get it all from local places in the area. And I mean, we were going down the road. I did take a video. Thought I'll probably show it or put it together short. Because we're going down the road and there's an Amish buggy. And then we're in the store and people are talking in Dutch. And Dutch for the Amish. So it was absolutely very much of a Amish thing. So we're only about, I think last time I looked, we're 28:14 in watch hours. So we're We're not that far away from getting remonetized again. We're slowly getting back, so anybody that can help with that, please. I know you all are helping, and I really, really appreciate it, because I'd like to get back there and, you know, I'd like to be in the position of, yes, let's get back to that position. And hopefully never to be in this position ever again. Thank you. I appreciate it. But again, anybody that can just sit there and watch anything would be just, let's keep at it, guys, because we're going to celebrate when it happens. That's for sure. Okay, well, I'm not going to be on here terribly long. I just thought I'll just come on while I'm cutting foam board for King of Saga, and get them ready for Christina. But you all know what's happening and what I'm doing. And then I just have to focus. Like I said, the only way I know how to do, like, I like the creative part of it. I don't mind cutting stuff out of the foam board. It's part of the process of it. It's part of the creative process of it. But I also it's just part of it. It's part of the process of doing it. But it's part of the, it's got to get done. But after you've cut about 5 boards with, you get a little tired of it. It's fine. We're making it work, right? We'll always make it work somehow. I should have made that one piece. I'll have to tell her about that. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. I'll tell her if she comes across some small pieces, she has to finagle. Because I'm just realizing that's a really small piece, but she'll figure it out when she gets there. But she could probably do that in one piece. I should have cut it in one piece, but oh well. Yeah, I have to tell her about that, because that could have been one piece together, and it's not. So she can do that in one piece. I don't know why I had that the way, but I will tell her when I see her if I remember. Anyway. This is the part that's like, okay, it's got to get done. It's part of, if you want to do King of Saga, you got to be able to cut the pattern out unless you're good enough to have it. And I'm working on a fine part in here. Oh, I hate migraines. I wish they would go away. Thank in heaven there's no migraines. Thank God. Bad enough we have to deal with them here. That's not going to be a piece, so let's do this. Let's modify this. So we're going to go down to, I'm going to take this down to here. Because unfortunately that's just going to be a piece that's not going to, she's not going to be able to cut. So we're going to modify it. Y'all can. You get something and you know, you're cutting and you're like, or you get a piece that's cut. You can modify it if you want. You don't have to be able to do it exactly like it. If you find out that, like, I'm cutting thinking, that's going to be an awful small piece for her to cut. Put fabric in. This piece will be one that she'll work. And I'm trying to give her stuff that she can, hi Paula, you know, she can work on that will kind of grow her skills a little bit. You know, kind of simple pieces and ones that have a little bit more challenge to them. Because that's, oh, that's awesome. I'm sure it was hopefully to be relaxing. Yep, she is finding, she told us, she said, you know, when I have to pump, she goes, I find it very helpful and very relaxing. And she said, I'm not focused on that. She said, I'm focused on just grading. And she was actually in the park yesterday, and she was sitting on a park bench doing it. So this is really good therapy for her. And I don't mind sitting here cutting this out because I know that this is, you know, I'm doing this for somebody I love and I care about, that's really hooked. And, you know, and that we're having a great time with us. That's awesome. You'll have to send me a picture because I want to see. I want to see. Like I said, I've got to focus on the outlining of this whole thing because she wants it. But she said, Mom, if you can't get it done, that's fine. But right now, I think I'd like to curl underneath the blanket. Know if y'all can see it. When I start getting a bad migraine, my eyes kind of get squinty. Like you can see them. They kind of go down. Josh will notice it before sometimes. He's like, you're getting a headache. You're getting a migraine. Happens every time. And it's not fun. Well, thank you, Paula. I try to be, and I thought about, you know, well, I just won't go live, but I thought, no, let me tell people what I'm doing. Cutting my, you all can help me through cutting all this stuff. I said to Josh today that I think I'm getting faster at actually cutting them out. I think I'm getting better and more precise. You know, one thing that I very much want to say when we're going to be doing kits and everything is I'm just kind of, I'm like, Christina's helping me practice just alone with that whole thing. Oops, I did that. Is just being able to put some kind of disclosure on it that says, please realize that this was all cut out by human hands. The patterns were designed by, people, and it's not going to be perfect. It can't be perfect. And so please allow for some errors and so forth, because otherwise it's, people are going to be expecting perfection. There's no way you can do perfection on these. I'm sorry. And if people think you can, it's not going to happen. You can't. And if you try to do it, you're going to fail. So I can, there's a machine you could get, punch them out. But then what is it? To me, part of the charm of this is it doesn't look, I mean, I've seen some beautiful people, some really gorgeous, I'm like, oh my goodness, I feel so, like I'm not good at this. Hi, Virginia Possum, welcome on in. Yeah, it's not that I feel poorly, I have a headache. It's just the only way to do it. I've got a migraine and it's not fun. So if you're trying to do perfection, it's not happening. It's just not. There's no way to do it. And I can't cut perfection either. And so it's going to have to be something we put on as we get better. So I'm going to have to put it on the kits because I just have headaches, and they come as my round of fibromyalgia happens. And it is what it is. I'm trying to see if I need to do any more cuts right there. But I think that that's certainly something that will have to be put on kits because it's the only way to do it. You know, if people are expecting us to be able to cut perfection, it's not going to happen. There's just no way to accomplish it. Yeah, there's just no way. I'm sipping on some Coke. Okay, here, one's done. I actually want to do this one. So now every Sunday I have to bring all my fabric to church so she can choose fabric. Oh, the kid's gonna eat me out of fabric and board. It's too funny. And I told her, I said, Christina, as you know, down the road, and as maybe if we sell any of these, I said, we'll just have to put like a little kitty that, like, if she sells a piece for like $35 or $30 or $35 or $40, we take 10 of it and put it in. I didn't realize that was unplugged. We put it in like a little kit with like a little kitty so we can buy more. So that's a good idea, Mom. I'm like, yeah, thanks. So this is the one, this is an 8x8. This one she sent over to me. I can show you that one because that's not a surprise for her. Some of these are a surprise. I can't show you. One of them, actually two of them I want to do. Probably a lot of them I want to do. She did a pizza. I've got one more after this, and then I can go to start outlining her piece. I may have to go see if I can. I have to go close my eyes for like a half an hour and see if that doesn't help. I think I named this, and she may change the name. Extra cheese, extra love, because whenever Christina orders a pizza, it's always extra cheese. She loves her cheese on her pizza. Yep. Yeah, they're all over there. I can't. She sent me flip-flops, which I think would be fun for us to do too for summer, before summer's over. And she sent us the pizza, and then she wanted me to do one of the characters, I think. Don't get me wrong, because I don't watch them. I think it's from Emma Swan from probably Once Upon a Time or something like that. And the rest are ones I just came up with that I'm surprising her with. I did tell her, I said, you better prepare somebody, meaning her husband. He may be in the parking lot for about 10 extra minutes trying to pick out fabric. I think we should try to do the pizza, huh? People, I've seen them do ice cream cones and cake and cupcakes, right? I've got a disco ball that I'm working on. I did come up with a pattern for a horse and buggy. I just have to actually put the lines in it. The main reason I'm doing this too is because if I can do enough for her to keep her happy, right, then I can work on other stuff. Because then I thought if I give her this, and then I just told her, I said, now listen, if you rush them, they're going to have to be put away. And Somebody will have to give them to you as you get done with one, because I said the idea is not to rush through these. The idea is to do them and have them, don't be rushing through, because then you're, not that you want it perfect, but you also want it to look nice. And if you're rushing through it, then you're not giving it the, you know what I mean? You gotta, don't be rushing. The art is not rushing this. The art is doing it so it doesn't look rushed. Migraines are I don't like them. Gotta figure what's happening here. Wait, hold it. This is this. Yeah, that didn't. She'll have to. I made a mistake. She'll have to realize that. I realized that as I did it. Because this specific pattern has a very thick border to it. And so unfortunately I'm like, wait a minute, it's not. I cut through it twice. She'll have to not put it in twice, but that's what the patterns are for. Realizing that you made a mistake. And if she does, it won't be the end of the world. But, well, I go live, let y'all look outside. Get caught up, but you know what's happening. Figure this out for a second. Hold on a second. So hopefully everybody is having a good Saturday. For the most part, I am. I just wish I could get rid of the headache that's come unexpectedly. Oh. And I slept really good last night too, for the most part. I think too I need to go back to juicing, because that did help, but I ain't gonna put any juice in my body right now. Nope. Nope. This one's hard because it's, oh wait, hold it. Oh yeah, because it's the thing is so thick that I'm trying to figure out how to cut it. But it's still workable. Still going to be worked. It's just okay, because that needs to come. Yes, I talked to my projects as I'm working on. She'll have to ignore that middle line because that one does not belong. Now I gotta figure out the hearts. It's not gonna be the easiest to cut, but I'm focusing y'all for a second. Oh my goodness. Yes. Yeah, I haven't had juice for a couple days, and I find it helps in a lot of ways. But the last thing I'd put in my stomach right now is juice. My stomach would not handle that well right now. So I would not be doing that. But I just haven't done it. We've been busy. This week was just busy. All the way around, it was just busy. And so, but I don't think it would sit with my stomach right now very well. every time I think about it, I get distracted, and then I get busy, and I'm like, oh, I need to have some juice today. I've just gotten away from it. But I will have some more, but not tonight. So anyway, as soon as I get done with this piece that you all are kind of helping me do, probably going to get off here, see what's happening with Josh and the paint sticks, because I can't, well, I can proceed it, but if he still needs the board to be able to get the paint sticks done, then I can't take the board away from him. Maybe I'll go put my heating pad around my neck and see if that doesn't help. But I have one more to do, and I'm not leaving this little place until I finish all of these ones. Here's the question, since we're working on pizza. What is everybody's favorite topping when it comes to pizza? You'll all be surprised. My favorite's mushroom. My second favorite one, yeah, I will. It's just I have fibromyalgia and I get migraines and they come and I just deal with them. But every once in a while they get somewhat debilitating, and I really don't like where this one's going. You and I would do very well together sitting down having a piece of pizza. I know people don't think pineapple belongs on pizza, but I love pineapple. I love Hawaiian pizza. First is mushroom, and then the second is Hawaiian pizza. Love me some pineapple on pizza. For people that say pineapple doesn't belong on pizza, it's delicious. Christina, she wants extra cheese. She's not a big toppings girl. We had somebody one time, I had gone to an Elvis meeting, and my dad, I don't know what he was thinking. There's a gentleman, he was a sweet guy, but he had some, he had some special needs, and why anybody put him in charge of ordering the pizza, I have no idea. But he ordered every pizza with anchovies. And it wasn't like you could peel the pizza off. It's not like you could peel the anchovies off and then it was fine. You tasted the anchovies in the pizza. You couldn't get rid of the smell of the anchovies. Turned me off from ever wanting to try an anchovy ever in my life. Pineapple, I've never done that before. Ooh, I'd have to try that. Pineapple and cashew, I never would have thought of that. And we said to my dad, we're like, why didn't you stop him so that he didn't order every pizza that came in? Even cheese had anchovies on it. Like, and he put anchovies on. He put anchovies on every pizza. People were not happy. People were not happy with him that he put anchovies on every pizza. So, let's not, my goodness. I will have to try it one of these times. I would have never thought about putting that on top of the pizza. Josh couldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole because he's allergic to nuts. He can have peanuts, but he can't have tree nuts. The cashews and anything. You know, the only nut he can really have is peanut. Thank goodness. because that certainly goes to him when he's crashing. But he's not, he can't have almonds and all that. Like I couldn't give him almond milk. It's not something I can give him. So I don't know if anybody remembers it, but we used to get, my grandfather used to order pizza from Uno's Pizza. So good. So good. There was a pizza place by my grandparents' house. And my grandmother didn't always like going there because they were all Italian. And the guy would yell. It had good pizza, but my grandfather loved going there because he would hear, the guys in the restaurant, they'd be fussing at each other in Italian. And my grandfather's father owned a restaurant, in where they lived in Jersey. And I think it reminded him of, the restaurant that his dad used to own, but so if anybody buys this I'm going to have to reduce the lines because I think it would confuse somebody who didn't understand the concept of this, because there's no way you could do this. So anyway, my dad no way. I mean, even though we tried to take the anchovies off the pizza, you still tasted the pizza. I think after we left there, that meeting, we went and we stopped off at McDonald's because we were all starving by that point. It was, I'm trying to figure this out. It was all, I have to figure this out. This has to go over here. I'm going to have to work on this pattern because the pizza slice is so thick. I'll have to thin out the lines of the pizza. She sent me over a thick pizza, and I didn't realize it at first. It's going to work, but does look like a 3D pizza. It's just a little complicated to cut out. I never wanted to touch an anchovy after that pizza. No way. No anchovies, please. He loved to go to that restaurant. My grandmother didn't care for it too much. It was good pizza. It was called Pizza Time. But she didn't like the fact that everybody was, you hear them all yelling in Italian. My grandfather would get such a kick out of it. Like I said, his father owned a restaurant, so I think it reminded him of his father and kind of the way the Greeks talk and so forth. I remember when my namesake went to, she went to, let's see where this is. Yeah, well, no, that has to be there. Sorry. Hold on a second. And we went to this restaurant, and it was full of, we went before the restaurant opened. And so, anyway, she was there, and I was just fascinated because there was all these Greek women there. They were all talking to each other. And I just found it absolutely fascinating beyond belief. All these women were talking to each other, you know, at the same time. They were just all talking to each other. I was trying to just, I didn't understand liquid of what they were saying to each other because they're all speaking in Greek. Because we had brought this other lady that lived in her complex that was Greek and spoke fluent Greek. She was a sweet old lady. And so we brought her along. I was just loving that all of these people were talking in Greek. I was trying to understand what they were saying. And man alive, it was fascinating to watch. Because to watch these women talk to each other, it was like this woman was talking to this woman as this woman was talking to that woman as that woman was talking. It was unbelievably fascinating to watch all these people talking to each other at once in Greek, and they would all understand each other. It was absolutely beyond fascinating to watch. It was just like, my goodness. They're all talking to each other at the same time. They followed the conversation. They knew what was happening with each other. It was unbelievably fascinating to watch. I was trying to keep up with what they were saying to each other. You know, and I was just, there was my mother's namesake would sit there and say that she used to go to the Greek women's group Bible at the church, Orthodox church, with this, you know, and go there. And she said, I don't know how they did it. She said, I still to this day don't know how they did it, because she said nothing was in order. Nothing was organized chaos, and they all were talking to each other at once. And she said, I don't know how they did it. She said, they got everything done. She said, it wasn't in order, but she said, they got everything done. She said, she'd go to the Methodist women's group, and she said, everything would be in order, and everything would all be all done, and everything. And she said, I don't know how the women at the Greek church did it. I messed that up. Oh well, like y'all. No, you're not. The only way to make this perfect is to cut it out on a machine. You know, put a pattern in and be able to have a machine cut it out perfectly. But we're not doing perfect, are we? We're not gonna do perfect. We can't do perfect. All right, pizza time is done. Pizza. Extra cheese, extra load. One more to do, and I can't show you because she hasn't seen it yet. And then I will get off here and hope that I can dye this all down. I'm seeing where Josh is with the stacks, and I gotta sit here. I think I will finish this, then I'm gonna get off here and I'm gonna go put the heat on my neck for about a half an hour and see if I can get rid of it. Take a break, because I've been here for a while. And then I will get up and start outlining. Maybe if I close my eyes for a few minutes, it'll help. I got a lot of practice in cutting today, that was for sure. Don't tell her how many I've done. Oh boy, my eyes are going dee 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 dee. I've got to do this one. I can't show you all what it is because she hasn't seen it yet. I want her to be surprised tomorrow. I love my kid. She's very blessed. I love my precious little grandbaby. I very much, very grateful. You know, I think sometimes we just you know, just forget to be in the moment. And right now, whatever this moment is that I'm in with her, I don't really want it to end. Very thankful I'm able to, you know, be her mom. I haven't always had those moments where I'm like, Lord, really, this is the child you decided to give me? See all these gray hairs? I got them from her. But I'm very thankful. Because I wouldn't, you know, I've grown a lot being her mom too, and she's grown, and very thankful. I'm very thankful I had the mother I had. And even though I had a grandmother, I had two grandmothers that weren't easy grandmothers to have. I'm still thankful I had both of them because I learned a lot from my grandmothers, both of them. I had a lot of women in my life that were very strong influences that I learned a lot from, being tough cookies in this world. I learned a lot from Patty, even though we had our struggles and she had to deal with addiction. So she showed me how to kind of, you know, go through life, and sometimes to go through it, it's not easy, but you have to keep being persistent. I named this one Wild of Heart. Now, if I do, well, I guess it wouldn't really matter if we do one and we name it both the same, but I gotta do this one. For sure have to do this one. And you know, I'm watching her, and I'm watching her, and if you guys are bouncing around, I'm really sorry. Just no way to avoid that right now. You know, I'm watching her become a mom, and I'm thinking she's doing really a good job. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm done really good. She's a really good mom. She loves that little one with a passion. And sometimes you know, you go on the book face, right? And I've seen it, and I'm like, you know, everybody's in their own life thing, and they have their own life struggles, but I see some of these kids and what they have to go through, and I'm like, my heart just goes out to them, and I think, you know, I watched my cousin having to go through stuff that I wish she hadn't had to go through, because Patty had to go through stuff that I don't think she should have had to go through as a kid. You know. You know, my grandmother, I don't know what she was thinking. I really don't. I know that I know Patty had, I mean, I just can't imagine. You know that your child, you're sending her someplace, and there's some beautiful pictures that were taken of my aunt. But from what I can understand, there was also abuse done to her that she had to live with. And my grandmother knew it was happening and didn't do anything. And I'm like, I just can't, I can't wrap my head around that. I'm sorry, I can't. You watch some of these mothers, and they're going off for 8 hours, and they're leaving their kids, and I'm like, and they think it's okay, and it's like, how old's the child? And I just don't understand it. Sorry. You know, too, I had to deal with a child who I couldn't do some of the things that normal parents could do. I couldn't leave my child alone by herself like I could, because she just wasn't there for it. You know, she just didn't have the ability for that. So I think I'm gonna have to make a cut here for this. Actually, now I'm gonna have to make a cut. So even when I'm doing a pattern, I'm cutting, when I realize I need to make a cut, I have my pattern right near me, because and I give her a copy of the pattern, but I want her to say, yes, that's a provision I've had to make in it. So, but I may come on tomorrow. I don't usually come on Sundays, but last night I didn't do anything but outline Kina Saga, and I have an itch to work on it. So we still have the teapots we gotta get done, guys. Because Mama didn't know that's coming to her. So I think once I have kind of done enough where I've kind of gotten her ahead with the amount of patterns I have gotten her, I think we're going to be good. But like I said, practicing my cutting technique. Got a lot of practice in it today. That's for sure. Lots of practice. I think I've gotten a little faster. Of course, the pizza kind of threw me because the lines were so thick. I'll have to work on that one. Because anybody trying to cut out that pattern that wouldn't know how to do it, get confused. I was getting confused. Look at that for a second. Cut that off because it's annoying me. Cut that section off so I can see this section for a second. Hey, boy. I can tell you that I think that it's helped sitting here doing this because I'm not focusing on the fact that my head hurts. I just get over them. I get frustrated with them a lot. I was throwing through Facebook. They were talking about fibromyalgia and back pain. They come to realize that back pain with fibromyalgia patients is that they actually that they have problems. Like I have problems. It's one of the reasons that kind of prevents me from standing long. If you are ever with me and I am standing in the store, that's why I have my walker with me, you'll see me sway. I can't stand still for very long. It hurts too bad. You'll see me sway back and forth. It's the only way I can do it. They were talking about fibromyalgia patients in their back. They're realizing that fibromyalgia patients actually can't stand for very long, and it does limit them. That's why working would be so hard for me, because I can't do things. And even doing this, I've had to get up, and I can't, and move around, so I don't get too stiff sitting here. But I also know I gotta get it done, so I press through. But I think if tomorrow wasn't church, I would not be doing this right now. I'd probably be in bed. But it is what it is, guys. And I'm not complaining. I'm really not. I just don't want to deal. I don't like dealing with it, but I have to. I don't like dealing with it, but I have to. Hi, Peyton. Welcome on in. We're not going to be on here too long, and I'm just cutting out foam board for Christina. We're going to work on probably King of Saga tomorrow, but I just realized that it was getting late, and I still have to outline a piece that she wants me to outline. And so I'm going to be here for a while, but in order to outline that piece, I really need to I need to get my Elvis music on, and I need to just concentrate on it. And you all haven't seen it yet, and she hasn't shown it to you, so I thought I can't really go live with it yet. So I'll just go live for a little bit while I'm cutting out patterns for her, because she is hooked line and sinker on this, guys. So I said, I've got.
She's back.
I've got some cute ideas for shirts. Oh my goodness, guys. There's one that I've got to do right off the bat. Let's see, is it going to cooperate? If not, Sandy could put hashtag Peyton. We'll get you covered. I promised you, Peyton, right? If it doesn't work, we're gonna do it my way. Well, you know what? It's maybe having a moment. We're all allowed moments, right? In life. So Sandy can put exclamation point Peyton in there, and it'll work. We'll get you covered. That's there because I want you to feel like you have the same ability to do what everybody else does. Yep. That's exclamation point, Peyton. Put the exclamation point in front of it. I don't have my laptop on, and I wouldn't be able to focus on doing that anyway right now. I gotta focus. No, Peyton, Sandy has to do it. Sandy will do it. She's got it. There she goes. Sandy will get it for you. She has to do that, but she has to put exclamation point. She'll get it. There you go. That's only, Sandy, if Peyton's thing is not working. If she puts hashtag blessed, and for some reason, I don't quite know why, Nightbot doesn't always like to do that for hers. It's the only, or for him, I'm sorry. If I've got it wrong, I've got a headache. I can't think straight. I know what it is, but my head's just going. Yeah, forgive me, I have a migraine. I cannot think straight. I knew what I was going to say, and it came out. I was about ready to say that, and it came out something else. So forgive me. I knew exactly what I was going to say, and it came out totally different. I don't know if you can see it in my eyes. See what happens when my eyes go down? They actually go. You can see them. They're starting to kind of squint. Like the squinting's getting worse. That shows me my headache is getting worse. It's my little barometer on me that says, oh, By the way, you're getting a migraine. I can't stop. Because there's nobody else to do this. Thank you for understanding. I appreciate it. I knew what I wanted to say and it came out 3,000 different other ways. And I think I appreciate people understanding because people get all upset and it's kind of like, guys, I'm trying today. I really am. It's funny because Josh will be like, oh, you're starting to sweat. I'm like, yeah. And he knows exactly what's happening. So as soon as I finish this last one, I'm going to go put this with the other 6 that I have over there. I think this will last her like 2 weeks. Maybe if I'm lucky. You're not making me upset, hon. Not in the least. It's not you. I started this live telling everybody I have a migraine coming on. But Christina has acquired such a passion for the King of Saga that I have to have patterns to bring to church with me tomorrow. We actually had to go down, which was fine because I got to see my grandbaby on Wednesday, I think it was, because she didn't have any patterns to do. She was out of pattern. She had finished her pattern. So I decided to go. She sent me 3 to do, or at least 3. She wanted 2, and I decided to surprise her with actually a couple more than just 2. And so, but I've had to sit here and cut them out, which is fine. It's just, and then I have to outline one of her ones that kind of lends itself to outlining it because she would like to give it to a friend that's really helped her right now. And so if I give her enough, maybe I'll be ahead. You didn't upset me. I don't want you to ever think that. I'm thankful you're in here. Don't you dare say that. It's not you upset up with my head. Actually, I'd like to take fibromyalgia and stick it in the wherever it's deciding to go. I don't get upset very easily. Except when you mess with my family and you mess with mess with my family and stuff, and then we're in trouble. And you mess with my community, then we're in trouble. Again, you're going to see, like I say, I made a mistake there. Then, like I say to a lot of people, the Lizzie will come out. You don't want the Lizzie coming out. It's kind of like the time, well, Josh had that cough, and that cough he had that went on forever, and I went to his doctor very patiently and very nicely, but I just looked at his doctor and I said, you better figure out what to do to solve this. Whether it's to stick him on antibiotics, admit him to the hospital, I don't care what we need to do. But we got to figure out something, because he's going to meet somebody pretty soon here that he's been waiting to meet for almost 9 months. And this is very special for him and us. And I said, he doesn't want to go meet that person coughing his head off. He won't do it. So I don't care what we need to do. It was very nice, but I was firm. And I've done it over my life. Oh, well, that's bullying. I'm sorry. Send them my way. I'll deal with them. Listen, we are all unique. Now, we're all unique. And you are a person, you're allowed to do, or, you know, you're allowed to be you. And nobody else should make you feel not like that. Now, listen, I will say this. God made us a certain way, and of course, you can believe in him or not. I am a believer, so I believe. And I certainly go to my Heavenly Father and say, okay, how you created me, but I don't think anybody should be bullied. I have a very difficult time with that. You know, for instance, I'm not a huge fan of tattoos. Never have been. And I'm not a huge fan of them. My husband has one little tattoo on his arm. That's it. It's just tiny. It's not even worth mentioning. And I told him when we started dating again, and I said so forth, I said, because he wanted to get like a whole back piece on his back and stuff. And I think to some degree they're beautiful artwork. I'm not denying anybody. Hi, some. Okay, I'll have to look at that. I will absolutely do it. But I just said to him, it's not something that I specifically like, but if you want to do that, that's you. And he knew it wasn't something that I really liked. And then shortly after that, he got diabetes. And he was like, no, I don't think I want to do it. Because he said, you know, there's a lot more risk when you're a diabetic and you get a tattoo. But I also had not the greatest experience because I used to work at a hotel, and this just goes back to people's experiences. Now listen, I have friends that have tattoos, and we're golden, you know. If somebody had a tattoo, I'm gonna stop being their friend because they had a tattoo. But I was working in a hotel, and we had a tattoo festival there. And I don't know what it is. I don't know whether it was the incense they were burning or what. I don't know. But we had it for 3 days. And let me just tell you, it left a really, really not so nice taste in my mouth. I mean, I would walk into work and it was just this, I can't explain. You know, it didn't really leave the greatest taste in my mouth for it. And it was, and it's something that I would have never gotten. I mean, I have to admit, kind of, but I'm scared to death of needles. I've thought about it on occasion. I would have loved to have been able to possibly think about getting a rose or something like that. I don't know, just never something that I really, you know. But if somebody wants to get a tattoo, that's their body, their business. That's fine. And if Josh had tattoos, I still would have loved him, and I still would have married him. It's not something that I really find that I like, but I'm still gonna be your friend, and I'm still gonna talk to you, and we're still gonna connect, and tattoos and all, because it's the person I want to get to know, you know. But it's not something that I personally would have done. But that's their body and their business. I just remember that tattoo festival just left a really not so nice taste in my mouth. I mean, the first year I was there, I mean, I have never had the phones be so crazy. Yep. I mean, they were not. I mean, I'd hang up the phone and the phone would ring as quickly as it was madhouse. And they were bringing little kids into this. I'm like, why are we doing this? Because there were people getting tattoos on certain body parts right out in the open that should not have been exposed to children, but it wasn't my place. That was crazy. And I remember I was at work and my dad took me out to breakfast early and took me to work for some reason. I think probably because my car needed to be done or something. I can't remember why. And he took me out to breakfast. Well, anyway, he loved the Clock Restaurant, which I had eaten before and had no problems whatsoever. However, I'm at work feeling worse and worse as the day is going by. The phones are, I've never had it where all 6 lines are like lighting up, and the minute I hang up with the phone, the next phone call is happening. And I'm feeling like really bad, like worse and worse and worse. And so anyway, I go home and I take my temperature and I'm like, I've got like 102 temperature. No wonder I was feeling lousy, right? And so I had to stay and just work through it because, you know, you have to do the thing, you know, you have to work. And I was, of course, a single mother, and I was the only person that was taking care of Christina was me. So I was kind of it, right? So anyway, I was feeling lousy. Well, there was a really good reason why. I think what happened is that I got food poisoning when my dad took me out to the restaurant. And I had like 102 temperature, and then I had to call my boss next day saying I can't come into work because I still had a fever. But I was sitting there feeling lousy by the moment. So anyway, like I said, I would never stop talking to somebody, and I have friends with tattoos, and I've had friends with tattoos, and they want to put tattoos on them. And sometimes, I mean, some of the artists that do these tattoos they do beautiful work. It's just not my jam. It's okay. It doesn't have to be, does it? But, you know, I wouldn't stop being somebody's friend because they had a tattoo, now would I? So I want to know the person, and I want to get to know who they are, and I'm all about that. Now, I'm kind of going through this a little bit. Just going to make sure that I kind of focus on the bed. Trying to kind of, you can tell if you look at it, especially if you bring your project board up, you can kind of tell if there's places you haven't cut through really good. You can tell from it, like I see it right here. Sometimes if you have it down, you can't see it, but if you bring it up, you can see it. But that's also why you have your knife cutting tool when you're doing this, because every once in a while, you think you cut through enough and you just didn't. That's why I gave Christina up my other, I had to order another knife, because if it didn't go down far enough, she can, if I try. Can't show you this one, but we'll have to do this one, y'all. I think I got enough for her. At least I hope. It's probably not enough knowing my kid. The pickle one's coming out really cute too, but we're gonna have to do our own pickle. Like I said, when anybody think I don't like people with tattoos, because that's not what I'm trying to say. I probably said it wrong. Oh well. It's just not, it's not something that I, you know, Christina wanted, I think she was thinking about it for a while, but she's also diabetic, so you can get a tattoo, you just have to be very careful with it. And I was like, Josh was like, I wouldn't touch it now with a 10-foot pole. So if if you're diabetic, please talk to your doctor. You're getting one because you can, it does, you have to be careful. Oh. Well, one time Christina was, I don't know how old she was. She was under a year. I know that. For some reason, she was sick, and I decided that, you know, she was having trouble. Like, she went to sleep with a person, and of course, we found out that was part of the autism, and so forth. Okay, that's good. And so, anyway, my arm. Oh. And so we found that as part of the autism. And I don't know what made me that night. Of course, she wasn't feeling good. That's not going to work, baby. It's just the hashtag blessed. And Sandy knows to go ahead and put in exclamation point Peyton if by chance it doesn't work. Well, it's hashtag blessed. You can try it again and see if it'll work. If not, Sandy or me will put it in. But I'm going to get off here in a minute because I'm going to go see if I can. See? If we can understand it, we'd be a millionaire, right? Anyway, I'll finish this story and then, oh, she'll be thrilled. Yay. All from my kid, who I love beyond measure. So anyway, she was probably about a year old. Under a year or something like that. And I had her in the bed because she wasn't feeling well. And so she was in the bed with me sleeping. She wasn't a baby, so, so forth. And for some reason, she was laying in the crisp, like right here. Her head was right here. The back of her neck was right here. Thank goodness. So I'm laying there. And I said to my mother, I woke up out of just panic. I mean, I was just like, okay, I'm panicking. And I woke up and I said, my mother, of course, I was living with my parents and I was a single mom. So she was across the hall in the other room. And I just yelled for her. I said, Mom. And she woke up. And I said, Christina feels like she's burning up. And sure enough, we're taking we got up, we took her temperature. She had 105.8. And I'm like, thank goodness, beyond belief, that she was laying right in the crisp of this arm and I woke up like that when I thought she's burning up. And thank goodness we got her in the shower. We called the nurse, and the nurse said, give it an hour. She said, if the temperature doesn't come down, we'll take her to the hospital. But I'm like, I can't imagine what would happen if I had not had her laying right here and just feeling the heat that my arm was like on fire. I can't imagine what would have happened if she was in her crib. And thankfully we caught it. We got her in the shower. We got the temperature down. Like an hour later, she was 102. But I chose Hannah. Yeah. 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 Yep, it was. Yeah, it was like 105.8 or something like that. It was scary. Well, we got her down. Then we called the nurse 24, the doctor's office, and the nurse called and said, if you don't get it, if it doesn't come down within like the next hour, you got to take her to the hospital. But thank God it came down. We got her in the shower, and that was scary. But I'm thinking if she had been in her crib, she would have just kept spiking and raising without me realizing what was happening, and then I would have, who knows what could have happened. So I was very thankful she was laying right in my arms. She was supposed to be, and I woke up like that and got her awake, and I felt it. I just felt that raising of the temperature. So, I think right now I'll stick with the King Sagar. I'd rather spend my money on fabric. What I'm trying to say is just because it's not something that it was scary. I'm trying to say just because it's not something that I would necessarily do. it doesn't mean that just because someone has a tattoo and they choose to have a tattoo on their body, it's their body. Go ahead, do, it's yours. You do what you want. And it doesn't mean that I'm not going to be your friend because you have a tattoo. It doesn't matter to me. It's just not something I personally would do, or would, it's just not my jam, if that makes any sense. But it doesn't stop me from being somebody else's friend because they have a tattoo. I don't care. I really don't care. Christina loves, she likes tattoos, and she's talked about it, but because she became a diabetic at 13, she actually was talking about it at one point, and her doctor said, well, you have to be very careful because it could cause, because of the diabetes, it could be a chance of infection. And, after Josh got diabetes, it was like, yeah, I don't think this is safe. So, and I mean, I have seen some beautiful, beautiful art, beautiful tattoo artists do beautiful work. And I think Josh and I were talking about like having our wedding bands put on our fingers at one point. I've thought about, the only thing, I think I would have to say that if you asked me if I wanted to get a tattoo in my life, what would it have been? It would have been a rose, someplace on my body, like on my foot or something like that. I would have wanted a rose. That's about the only thing that I could sit here and say, yeah, I've thought about it in my life, but I don't think after I got fibromyalgia, do I want to deal with any more pain than I absolutely have to. And I just think it depends on the person. But, just because we have somebody that we come across and they look different, or they have tattoos, or they have piercings, or whatever, don't stop to get to know that person, because that person can be an amazing person. And they may have purple hair, and they may have blue hair, and they may have... matter. Get to know who they are. They're a human being, and it doesn't matter. Get to know who they are, because they could be an amazing person. It may not be something you would necessarily do. It doesn't have to be. It's like this. It's like the seam ripper. Or it's like this. You never have to pick up a seam ripper in your life, or a crochet hook. But that's not the point of me opening up a live here. The point of me opening up as live is that people come in here and chit chat and talk about their life and talk about their day and what they're going through and their struggles they're going through and all that kind of stuff. That's the point of it. It has nothing to do with the seam ripper or the fabric we're using or whatever it is. It's all about what we're doing to come together as a community. And, and I think too, people's past experience, and the reason I brought up the tattoos was because I had that experience of having that exactly. Care what's in the inside, not without the outside. Because of the experience I had in the hotel, which wasn't the greatest, it changed my... It just changed things for me a little bit. And we don't know in life why some people's their experiences are different than ours. And, like somebody likes, we were talking about pizza earlier. Some people love anchovies on their pizza. I would touch it with a 10-foot pole because my experience with anchovies was not fun. And so I didn't have a very good experience with anchovies. So it's like, I don't want to have anchovies on my pizza. So I think we have to realize everybody comes from someplace. They have different experiences. They have different things and different environments that they've been put through. And we need to learn about them to understand why. But at the core, we're a community of people that come together to learn about, to come together and be able to find out who we are inside. You know a lot about who I am. You know everything. And there's things I've told my daughter about my first marriage that will never be on the internet. That's between her and I, for her to know that information and know as part of my story, but that's not for the world to know. You know, you all know me a lot. If you met me in person, I'd be the same as on the other side. But we don't know everybody's experience unless we're in their lives and we're having it. But we can certainly help each other through each day. I mean, you all helped me tonight as I'm going through, not really, I'm struggling right now, pain wise, and I'm kind of having a headache from from not a great place. My head hurts, but you guys helped me through so I could get through to do something for something that I really love and care about. And that's what community does. And I don't care if you've got piercings, tattoos, you got blue, purple, red, I don't care what kind of hair you have. I just am glad that you're here because to me, you're part of this community and we're here to help each other through this thing we call life. And that's why the door is open here, and that's why we created this channel, and that's why we're working so hard. And anyway, but I love y'all. Tattoos and piercings and red and blue and whatever color hair you have. I don't care. I'm just so grateful for a blessed community because you guys are the blessing behind Blessed to Crochet. You truly are, every single one of you. So thank you for helping me through, even though you couldn't see all the patterns that I did or put up there. Because I want to surprise somebody tomorrow, and if I show you, she may see it. But I will promise that I will print them out so that you can see them once she has seen them, so you know what's coming down the pike. So anyway, I'm going to get off here. I'm going to see where Josh is on the framing parts. I think I'm going to go I've got some saltine crackers, which has helped. I'm going to finish my Coke, some saltine crackers, and then I'm going to go close my eyes for about a half an hour and take a break and get up and start outlining. I think if I try to turn on the light right now, it's gonna send this headache into another place. I would prefer not for it to go. And so I'm going to do that. And then I will try to come on tomorrow. We'll probably come on the way to church. And then I'll try to come on tomorrow afternoon or evening. And we'll work on some King of the Sake together. If not, I will try to come on Monday. And then Tuesday, I will be on Crystal, the Yarny Chicken, I believe it is. I'll be on her show on Tuesday. So I'm looking forward to that, y'all. But with that being said, I'm going to get off here, like I said, finish the crackers, go lay down for about a half an hour and see if I can make this headache just go. Y'all did help me through, but I need to take a break before I go on to the outlining, which is going to take me a while, but I'm determined to get this done for tomorrow. So with that being said, y'all, I love y'all. Remember to be proud of being you, because everybody else is taken. There's only one you. You cannot be anybody else than yourself. Unique and special and amazing and awesome in every way, shape, and form. And I love each and every one of you. Remember, we have you covered. Thank you so much for having us covered. And be proud of being yourself. I said that one. And keep crocheting that connection. No crochet hook is required. Or seam ripper. So tomorrow I will be on. Hopefully my headache will go down. And I will come on and we will work on the teapot because we got to give that to Mama as a late birthday present. All right, y'all. Love each and every one of you. See you tomorrow. Have a great night. Bye-bye, everybody.